Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins in 1915, when two boys are sent to Bastøy prison, a facility for young offenders. This prison is located on an island in Oslo, the capital of Norway, and is surrounded by the sea, making escape nearly impossible. Anyone who tries to flee will likely drown in the water. The two boys, Erling and Ivar, arrive at the prison, and are taken to an officer named Brathen. There, their personal belongings are taken away, and they are given prison uniforms to wear. Erling is singled out and warned by Brathen, because of rumors that he is a murderer. Brathen instructs Erling to follow all the prison rules, and assigns another inmate, Olav, to keep an eye on him. Olav has been on the island for over 9 years, and is set to be released in a few weeks. The next day, all the prisoners are lined up and assigned jobs, growing vegetables, working in the kitchen, and cutting clothes. However, Erling is given the unpleasant task of cleaning the toilets. Frustrated and desperate to escape, he shares his thoughts with Olav, who warns him that no one has ever successfully escaped the island, but Erling remains determined, insisting that he is innocent, and must find a way out. During a work shift, he notices a hut, and asks Olav about it. Olav reveals a boat is stored inside. Driven by hope, Erling sneaks towards the hut and peers inside, glimpsing a boat through the dim light. Unfortunately, the guards spot him, and quickly apprehend him. He is punished for his actions and his apparent escape attempt. Later at night, a commotion erupts. A prisoner named Johan claims his belongings have been stolen. Brathen arrives to address the situation, and without hesitation, singles out and punishes Erling once more, further reinforcing the harsh reality of life in Bastøy prison. The next morning, tensions rise as Erling starts harassing Johan in the bathroom. After everyone else leaves, he locks the door, and beats Johan severely. As a result, both of them are assigned to cut down a large tree in the forest, a punishment meant to teach them a lesson. They are joined by another prisoner for the task. Cutting the tree proves to be difficult, and all 3 prisoners struggle with the labor. Exhausted, they eventually sit down, their earlier conflicts giving way to a tense silence. None of them want to risk further punishment. Gradually, a sense of unity begins to form among them. Johan apologizes to Erling for the previous troubles. The next day, the trio is sent back to the forest to continue cutting wood. This time, a heavy rainstorm hits, providing Erling with an opportunity. He secretly steals a tree cutter, planning to use it to cut the lock of the hut where the boat is stored. Days go by, with all the prisoners busy with their assigned tasks. However, Olav begins to suspect Erling's intentions, and confronts him, asking if he is planning an escape. Olav warns him not to attempt anything until his release, but Erling remains silent, not revealing his plans. Johan gets a deep cut on his hand, and Erling and Olav help him to the clinic. At night, Erling and Olav meet in the bathroom, and consume poisonous mushrooms they found in the forest. The mushrooms soon begin to take effect, and their condition deteriorates, frightening the other prisoners, who quickly take them to the clinic for treatment. The nurse administers care to both of them. As soon as she leaves, Erling seizes the moment. He helps Olav up, and they dash towards the hut, where Erling begins cutting the lock with a stolen tree cutter. Just then, Ivar arrives and sees Erling at work. He confides that Brathen has been molesting him, and he is desperate to escape. Ivar pleads to join them, but Erling refuses, not wanting to put Ivar in danger. After some time, during a routine head count, it is discovered that Erling has escaped by boat. The governor Besteirer addresses the remaining prisoners, calling Erling a coward. However, the guards soon recapture Erling, and bring him back to the island. Life in the prison returns to its harsh normalcy, but tensions simmer beneath the surface. When Erling was brought back, the prison authorities decided that Olav, who was supposed to watch over him, deserves punishment for his failure. Olav is furious with Erling and confronts him, accusing him of being selfish. This leads to a fierce fight between the two. Despite the confrontation, Erling remains undeterred, and still determined to escape. Meanwhile, Brathen learns that Olav also harbors thoughts of escape. As punishment, he is sent to the forest to cut wood, a grueling task meant to crush his spirit. This only fuels the desire for freedom among the prisoners. In a sudden turn of events, Ivar's wife begins crying out in the forest due to an asthma attack. Seizing the opportunity, Brathen demands money from Ivar, in exchange for not reporting his absence from work. Frustrated and overwhelmed by his constant oppression, Ivar reaches a breaking point. He decides to end his suffering, deliberately drowning himself in the sea. Erling witnesses Ivar's tragic act, and rushes to the shore, where Olav joins him. Together, they manage to pull Ivar out of the water, but it's too late, he has already passed away. Brathen arrives and insists Ivar took his own life, coercing Erling and Olav to accept this false narrative, if they wish to avoid trouble. Deeply saddened by the loss of their friend, and knowing the truth behind Ivar's death, Erling and Olav are left feeling helpless and remorseful. They are burdened by the knowledge that justice has been denied, and they are powerless to change the outcome. The next day, Erling gathers his courage, and approaches Besteirer to reveal the truth about Brathen's role in Ivar's death. Besteirer, shocked and disturbed by the revelation, confronts Brathen directly. He accuses Brathen of being responsible for Ivar killing himself, and threatens him with a life sentence. However, Brathen remains defiant and unyielding. He counters by blackmailing Besteirer, claiming he will expose Besteirer's embezzlement of jail funds if he is implicated in any wrongdoing. It becomes clear that Besteirer is a more significant villain than Brathen, exploiting prison funds meant for the welfare of the inmates, including cutting back on food meant for the boys. Despite their mutual enmity, they reach a compromise to maintain their positions of power. As part of their agreement, Brathen agrees to temporarily leave the prison. The news spreads among the prisoners, who celebrate his departure, believing Besteirer has ousted him for good. Erling and Olav, hopeful that Brathen will never return, begin to envision a future without his tyranny. After a few days, a team from the Central Committee arrives at the jail, to assess the conditions and behavior of the prisoners, with the power to decide on releases. Each prisoner is individually inspected by the committee, evaluating their conduct and readiness for potential release. One of those considered is Olav. When questioned about the harsh realities within the prison, and Ivar's tragic death, Olav remains silent about the abuses, describing Ivar as unruly and uncontrollable. This stance earns him a favorable evaluation, and Olav, along with 2 other prisoners, is granted release. As Olav prepares to leave, he unexpectedly encounters Brathen, who had been sent away on a shopping trip until Olav, the only witness to Ivar's molestations, had left the island. Unable to contain his rage, he launches into a fierce physical altercation with Brathen. Erling joins in, and even Johan lends a hand. The violence escalates, until Brathen's intervention halts the brawl. In a twist of fate, Brathen supports the trio's return to confinement, leading to their placement in a dark cellar within the prison. At night, Erling seizes an opportunity to escape, attempting to pry open the cellar door. Despite his efforts, he is unable to break free, and is trapped once again within the confines of the jail. The next day, Brathen arrives to confront them in the cellar. A fierce struggle ensues, during which the 3 prisoners overpower him, and seize the key to their confinement. In the chaos, Olav injures his leg, when it becomes stuck in the bars. Despite his injury, they manage to escape from the cellar, and set their sights on Brathen. Witnessing the confrontation, the other prisoners are inspired to rebel against the guards. They join forces, overpowering the guards one by one, and seizing control of the prison's food supplies. United in their defiance, they turn their wrath upon Brathen, ultimately ending his life. As chaos erupts, Besteirer attempts to flee by boat, but the prisoners intercept him, ensuring he faces justice for his crimes. But Besteirer quickly manages to escape from the island by boat, leaving the prisoner boys alone with their brief taste of freedom. However, their liberation is short-lived. The next day, the jail authorities dispatch more soldiers to the island to regain control. As Erling and Olav spot a large ship approaching, filled with soldiers, they quickly rally the other boys to push the boat from the hut into the sea. Desperation fuels their efforts, but before they can launch the boat, the soldiers arrive, plunging the island into chaos. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, the prisoner boys are captured one by one. Amid the pandemonium, Olav, Johan and Erling manage to escape into the forest. While fleeing, Erling spots a deer, and believes it might lead them to a way out of the island. Their hope is short-lived, as Johan notices more soldiers closing in. To create a diversion, Johan runs in one direction, drawing the soldiers after him, while Erling and Olav head in another direction. Olav, hindered by his injured leg, struggles to keep up. Determined not to leave his friend behind, Erling hoists him onto his back, and continues to run, evading the soldiers, and hoping to find a path to freedom. Amid the chaos, they seize a desperate opportunity to escape, crossing a frozen fjord back to the mainland. However, tragedy strikes as Erling falls through a gap in the ice near the shore, and succumbs to the freezing waters. Later, Olav is depicted as an older man, now a member of a ship's crew. As they sail past Bastoy Island, he gazes solemnly at the place, where their tumultuous struggle for freedom unfolded, reflecting on the harrowing events that shaped their lives. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.